Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video we're gonna go ahead and install a second compressor wiring harness on the 370Z, and I've always ran a single compressor on this car. I've never had an issue, but I'm actually going to talk about why you would want to have a second compressor on your Airlift setup, the benefits to it, because there actually is quite a few, and I do recommend having a second compressor on your setup. Now let me go ahead and open the trunk. So here is my trunk setup. Right now I need to go ahead and actually fix a few leaks that I have on my airbags, because I had removed it a few days ago because I had an issue, a severe leak with one of the airbags. I think it was a rear left one. So I fixed that one, but then I pulled a few lines and it caused a few more leaks. But since I'm going to go ahead and remove technically like a lot of parts on here, I'm going to go ahead and run my wiring harness in there, so when I get my next compressor or my second compressor, I can go ahead and install it really easily with no issues, because it is kind of like a pain to run the wiring harness on a 370Z. I know in other cars it'll be a lot easier. For example, like let's say a Camaro, the Camaro has its battery in the back, as where 370Z has it in the front. So I have to run the lines through the inside over here into the front, up through the firewall, and then connect it to the battery up there. So it is a little bit more time consuming. So when I get my next compressor, I easily just gotta connect everything to the front, connect it right here in the back, and then we're good to go. So that's my plan right now, is to go ahead and do that, so I can go ahead and connect the next compressor on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and air out the car so I can remove all these lines. That way I can go ahead and remove this, and then I'll show you guys how I'm gonna connect that into the back. That way it has power in the future. But here is the second wiring harness. It comes with its own relay, along with its own power supply right here. That's gonna go connected to the compressor. Then you have this other connection right here that goes to the main harness. It connects directly to it, and then that's gonna go to the battery for its main power supply. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and do. Let's go ahead and take everything out, fix a few leaks that I have, and then we'll go from there. All right, so here is where I am at right now. Mine requires a little bit more work because I have my Braun Racing harness right there. So I had to remove the 4 Allen keys at the top to remove that piece right there, and then that one right there. After removing that, now I can easily move this out of the way. With that in the way, I can't really like push it forward in order to remove this piece right here, because I'm going to open this, and then I'm going to run the lines right there, as you can see, going up into the back right here. See if I could turn my flashlight on. So they ran right there through that hole, going up, and then it's gonna go behind this right here. So you're just gonna grab it, tuck it in back there, you can see it, and then you're gonna tuck it in. That way it's not in the way of anything, so you can push this back in and you don't have any fitment issues. If it's not like closing properly, or it's not attaching properly, and you have like a gap, you most likely need to move the line out of the way. That way it can, you know, sit properly. But that's all you have to do. Shove it in there. So it's going technically like through the bottom right here. It goes up. And then right here, you're gonna open this. Just pull this up, pull this forward, and then run the line through the back right there, going down. And then you're gonna wanna go ahead and lift this thing up. These are really easy to remove. You just gotta pull up and then out, and then it'll release it. Just like that. And then you can go ahead and start running the lines in there. So there's like a little hole. Just stick it in, and then drag it all the way up. Pull it right there as well through those. And then now you gotta pull the line up through the firewall. So that's pretty much it when it comes to the lines and everything in here. So this is all set to go. Make sure this is long enough to go through the top, which it appears to be long enough, so I shouldn't have an issue with this. And then I think that's honestly it. Then you have the lines right here. So as you can see, it's really long, so you have enough space to be able to connect it to the back right there as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So now I gotta open the hood. Alright, so right here, yeah, the battery terminal right there. Gotta remove all this stuff, and then you're gonna want to remove this. It's not this easy. I mean, if you have the clips in, you gotta remove the clips. But right here is where you're gonna run the line through. So The best way to do this is to just grab a metal wire, stick it through all the way down, and then pull the line with it to go up. So this one can go up there. And we're pretty much done. That's pretty much it. Now we have lines going to the power supply. We're gonna connect it there, but we're not gonna do that until I get the next compressor. So let me go ahead and close everything back up, and I'll show you guys how you would connect the line to the front if you want to do this, and the rear one as well. But let me go ahead and clean everything back up. Alright, so now for the most important part, which most of you guys are probably wondering, like how do you connect the compressor and then the front power supply. And it's actually pretty simple and straightforward. For the rear, you have that pink wire that I mentioned, which is this one right here, and then you have another pink one to the main harness, which is this one right there. You're going to go ahead and connect these two together. And then this, you're going to connect directly to the compressor. So I don't have mine yet, but right here you guys can see that I connected the red to the red, and then the black to the black. You can use some butt connectors. I think I have some somewhere around here that I can show you guys. This is just a relay. It doesn't need to go connected anywhere. You can have it mounted somewhere so it doesn't move and make noise, but you don't really need to. So in the future, once I get my other compressor, I'll be putting it on the other side over here, just like this one, like that. Of course, when you get another compressor, you need to make sure that you connect it to a line. So I have this line connected right here for the compressor, and it's going to the tank up there. So you will need a connection like this to be able to connect another line on this side right here, which I have plugged. So as you could imagine, I will have to get another plug like that, which I think I most likely have one already, and connect it to this end so I can connect the other line as well. Now as for the front, you will have to run a black wire to the black terminal and then a red wire to the red terminal. Now in my instance, I have it connected right here, but I do believe there's more connections under here. There you go. So usually I connect one like right there, and I'll connect another one right there for the red. And the black, you don't really have an option, so you have to connect it right there. So usually I'll connect like one on the end, one on the outside. That way it can still clamp good, and it doesn't affect like how sturdy it is when it clamps to the black terminal. But you do need a fuse for the red side, which they usually provide in your kit if you do purchase the extra line for the compressor. And they'll give you something like this. So you just gotta connect this to the red one only. The black one doesn't require it. This is in case something happens, it blows the fuse, and it won't mess up the wiring. But that's pretty much it when it comes to connecting everything. Really straightforward. Alright guys, so I picked up a second compressor now. Well, actually I picked up a third one because he included this one with it, but I got these for a really good deal. They are a little bit old and rusted, but I have these under the trunk setup so you won't even be able to see it. So I don't really care about how it looks as long as it's functioning properly. But I did notice that on these it doesn't have like these rubber grommets right there. So I have the bolts and everything, and then I have a few of these extra ones sitting around, so they should fit. I'll plug those in. These are to help reduce the amount of sound that it makes when it turns on and it shakes. I went ahead and picked up a connection for this because it's a different size. The ends on these are a 3/8 size, which is a larger ones. Usually an Airlift is more common to have like the smaller one, like this one right here, which I believe is a 1/4. And then this one right here is a 3/8. Same thing with this one. This one is also a 3/8. So I need the smaller one, which is gonna be this one right here, which is a 1/4, to connect directly to the tank. So I'm gonna connect this one to the top. I'll show you guys right now once I remove it. And we're gonna connect the larger one to this right here. So it's gonna be like a sandwich plate. It's gonna go on this side. This is gonna go on here. The airline is gonna go connected to this one over here to the tank directly. So that's how we're gonna do it with that. And then for the connections, these right here, I have these extra ones, but I need to get 2 more for the front because I connected directly to it like that. And then I also need a fuse for the red one for the front, which I don't have. So I'm gonna have to get one of those. That way I can plug everything up. I can connect it directly to it without the fuse, but it's better to have the fuse, that way it doesn't blow and it messes everything up. Alright, so I went ahead and removed the fitting that was right here, and I'm placing this one in there now. I added some Teflon tape to the end, and now we just gotta tighten it down. And then before actually removing these fittings, you want to make sure that you completely take out all the air from the tank if you don't, the fittings will either shoot out, or you can leave it loose and then try to take it off after you do that. But yeah, I always take the air out. You should have like a release valve at the bottom, like this one right here. Just pull this to release it, or you can hold it at the end on this right here, and it'll also release the air. But let's tighten this one down, and then we'll connect the line right there, just like I had the one over there. Connect to the back, and I'm going to put it inside to the bottom. Now as for the connections, you're going to grab 2 of these on the back. You're going to slip it into one of the ends right there, and then you're going to clamp it down with either some pliers. I have these right here. These are amazing for wires. You just smash it in between here, and then it's going to make contact. And then now you got to do the other side as well. Once you're done, you're going to heat this up either with a lighter, and or also you can use a heat gun, and that'll also you know, shrink it as well. That way no water gets in there. So that's it for the back part. And you're going to connect that pink connection right here to the back, to the other pink connection. Goes right there. And then here I have my airline connected right there. So I think we're good here. I'll finish this up, and then I'll show you guys how to do the front as well. It's the same exact thing. Alright guys, so I purchased a few things to connect everything up. So I got these right here, which are butt connectors. You can purchase these at AutoZone, local auto parts store. And then this is the fuse connection. It's going to be a ATC, HHG. The most important part is the ATC, because that's the one that's going to connect to the fuse, which is a 30 amp. And then I purchased these 30 amp fuses right here. They have to be the larger ones, which again are ATC. So once you have that, you're going to go ahead and connect it all to the front. So here I have everything connected. So the black one goes to the black one over here on the black terminal, and then over here the red one goes on the red one, and the other fuse I connected it right there as well. So everything is good, everything is now connected. And then you're gonna go ahead and turn on the car, but make sure everything is sealed up. As you can see, they're all shrunk because I applied heat on them, so it shrinks them. And then we turn the car on. So right here, you would go ahead and click on this middle button right here, and then the top one as well. So click on both of these. It's gonna go to your settings. You're gonna go to setup, compressor. You're gonna do dual, single, and you're gonna change it to dual versus single. And then both of your compressors should turn on at that point. Alright guys, so that is how you install a second compressor and harness onto your Airlift setup. Now let me talk a little bit about why you would want to get a second compressor and a harness. The reason is because if one compressor goes out, then you have the other one as an emergency backup to still put air into your tank. So if you only have one and that compressor goes out, guess what? You're not going to be able to get air into your tank, and you can't air up your car if you aired it out. Now, let's say you have absolutely no leaks on your Airlift setup and it maintains the air that's in it, and none of your airbags on either side has a leak. Then you should be able to make it to your destination without the compressor if there's enough air in your system. But if you have massive leaks where it's coming out and you have to keep airing up your car, then at that point you're pretty much screwed because you don't have anything to be able to put more air into the system. So that's the biggest reason why you would want to go ahead and purchase another air compressor. But other than that, that's pretty much it. I did pick up another Hot Wheel, which is this one right here. This one is the HKS 2-pack with the GTR R33, and then the HKS fan right there. This one is really, really sick. So I'm gonna put it with my 2-packs right here. With the rest of the ones that I have already. So the 2-packs are looking pretty sick. I got the 2 Skylines up there, another S13, a Sylvia, and then I have the 2-pack that I just got, the HKS, a Lambo, and then the BRZ and Lexus set. But it's growing, it's continuing to grow. My premiums are getting massive. I only had a few and I'll have a lot more. But that's going to conclude the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.